Latest home sales data points to a housing recession. And I ask, does this come as a surprise? It may be to some of the people that doubted me when earlier this year I posted a video saying that a buyer's market was on the way. All right, guys. So as I said, I had posted a video in April that had mentioned that a buyer's market was coming soon. And I had so many comments from viewers saying, no way, not in my area. The housing inventory was way too low and that this was simply impossible.
All the comments were being blown up saying that Todd was crazy. He had no idea what he was talking about. But things are proving that that is actually incorrect, and he was right all along.
We're going to show you reporting. And Melissa, it's not, it really isn't about me being right or me being wrong.
Right.
But I mean, from somebody that's been in this housing business since, 1989, I've seen this happen a couple times, and watching the buyer exuberance and the overspending for houses that simply weren't appraising. We knew it was only a matter of time, and it just took a little bit of interest rate increase, and buyers started waking up, and next thing you know, boom, everything's imploding. And NAR has actually published this report, National Association of Realtors. But I want to talk about how some financial experts, one being Dave Ramsey, has said that no way, housing prices are never going to go down.
I know.
And in fact, that I think he had mentioned in one of his YouTube videos that it has only happened once in 100 years. So let's take a listen to this clip right here on Twitter.
All right, let's talk real estate. A lot of folks are saying, I'm going to sit on the sidelines and wait on buying because house prices are going to go down. Let me help you with this. House prices are caused by one thing and one thing only: supply versus demand. How many houses are for sale versus how many buyers there are. Buyers are fewer in a bad economy, a high interest rate economy. There's fewer buyers, but they have to be less buyers than supply for house prices to go down. That's not going to happen.
So I really don't know what his agenda is here. I'm not really sure, but to make those statements, I kind of feel that with a person of his notoriety, to make a statement like that is very misleading. And I don't think it's accurate. And I really don't think that we should be going off of, what he's reporting.
Well, if you're one that believes that house prices never go down, let's take a look at this chart right here. This chart addresses the average median home sales in the U.S., and it dates back to 1963.
As you can see in this chart, home prices do continue to rise. We'll have dips that go down and then it goes back up again. But as you can see, it's the upward motion.
Yeah, and you can see in these arrows where these dips are. And obviously, it's easy to see when we had the crash of 2008.
Absolutely. You can see where there was the dip that went down. But again, now we're going in the upward trend.
Now, let's take a look at this article that I just spoke about. The National Association of Realtors recently published, and it headlines here that the latest home sales data points to a housing recession. And as this article states, more signs are pointing to a housing slowdown as existing home sales fell 5.9% month over month, and that represents 20% year over year. Now, the National Association of Realtors chief economist Lawrence Yun says, we're witnessing a housing recession in terms of declining home sales and home building. Now, here's what I find interesting. He continues to say, however, it's not a recession in home prices. The inventory remains tight and prices continue to rise nationally, with nearly 40% of the homes on the market still commanding full list price. In the next few sentences, Yoon also states the median price for an existing home jumped 10.8% from a year ago, reaching almost $404,000. And here's the big catch, guys. He goes on to say, however, that's down $10,000 from last month's record high of $413,800. Now, Melissa, are prices going down or are they not going down?
They're going down.
$10,000 month over month decrease. So, yeah, guys, maybe we have to be a chief economist to understand that, but
You can see it for yourself. Go on realtor.com, put in where you live, put in, price decreases. You can do the math yourself. You're going to see there's price decreases across the board.
So guys, for those of you that may have just missed that, the median home price, according to the National Association of Realtors, has dropped $10,000 nationwide on average from June to July.
We know when we look at these statistics and data, everything is backward facing. So we're seeing things that happened months prior. And I also feel these chief economists, well, I don't want to call out Lawrence Yun at all. We respect him greatly, but we do feel they're being reserved in their information that they're putting out there.
Or we could say hopeful.
Yes.
Right. As somebody that's been in the housing market since 1989 and have seen this multiple times, I think this is just the beginning. And I think the big thing is, from the buyer's standpoint, it's the uncertainty. It's the uncertainty of the economic times. It's the high inflation prices. Though they're telling us inflation's come down, I still believe that we're feeling it at the grocery store. I mean, prices are up. That coupled with the fact that I think buyers are just waking up. They're realizing that they may have been overpaying for home prices and they just can't afford their mortgage payment.
Absolutely. And I think that people are probably hearing firsthand or secondhand of stories where, buyers have gone in and they don't want that to be the pattern that they're repeating either.
Yeah. And like Melissa said, if you go to realtor.com or Zillow, you're going to put in your city, look for houses that have experienced price reductions. You're going to see these are double digits. The amount of homes, 14%, 16% of the houses that have experienced price reductions recently or over the last couple months, as well as the days on the market have increased. Mm-hmm. Now, Melissa, this NAR article goes on to say that July's decrease in home sales represents the sixth consecutive month of declines. Likely it was due to higher mortgage rates, sidelining more buyers, as Yun says.
That's right. And home builders echoed, reporting that new home sales fell 10% annually in July and were at the lowest level since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020.
It goes on to say, but home sales may soon stabilize as mortgage rates have fallen from the 6% peak in early June to near 5%, given the additional boost of purchase power to home buyers, Yun continues to say. Guys, I can tell you right now, we're still at about 5.13% as of last week for a 30-year mortgage that's considering 20% down. And that's still higher than what we've experienced in almost the last 15 years.
Yeah. And even though in the 5% range, it is not a terrible interest rate, but it is going to be substantially more than it was such a short time ago.
Considering the high home prices, this is equating to 35 or 40% more for a mortgage payment than just a year ago.
Yeah, very true.
Now, don't get us wrong. We completely respect Dr. Lawrence Yun, the National Association of Realtors chief economist. And in fact, it wasn't that long ago that I podcasted with Dr. Yun.
Mm-hmm. He was a tremendous guest, and we are very grateful for his time and his insight.
But I do want you to hear that in our May 17th podcast, this is what he says.
When I said we will come down, meaning that home sales will be measurably lower this year. Now, prices, I don't think it will fall just because we have this persistent housing shortage. It's going to take multiple years to address this housing shortage. So I don't think prices will necessarily fall in a broad level. So whether at the national level or say regional, mid-Atlantic region, prices will not decline. But certainly certain neighborhood, one may begin to see some price reduction, which is the reason why one has to work with professional realtors to assess how to price it. You misprice it, days on the market lengthens, and somehow people taint the home as something unknown, undesirable, and you don't want to have that label. So housing market would be one area where you will see some slowdown in sales and even some new home construction.
Now, Melissa, as he just mentioned, that we'll see home price reductions in specific areas. But I think it's plain to see that just a report from June to July alone, with the $10,000 reduction in median sales price, that this is more widespread than Dr. Yun had anticipated.
Mm-hmm. And just goes with my theory that maybe he's holding back a little bit more. But as you can see, the data and statistics show that there is a substantial decrease.
And as far as the inventory shortage that he spoke about, well, that's changing rapidly too.
The NAR article states the inventory of unsold existing homes increased to 1.31 million, up 4.8% month over month and unchanged from a year ago. Unsold inventory is at a 3.3 month supply at the current sales pace.
It's 4.8% month over month increase. And guys, this represents not only the fact that homes are sitting on the market longer, but that the buyers have definitely cooled off. And according to this Bloomberg article that was written this month, The supply of homes for sale across the U.S. grew at a record rate last month, another sign that higher mortgage costs are cooling down the housing market. And according to this report on Realtor.com, the number of active listings nationwide jumped 31% from a year earlier, a record high increase for a third straight month. I mean, guys, we're seeing it here locally. I mean, houses are definitely sitting on the market longer. You know, we put the house on the market, we get a quick shot of activity, and then it just kind of dries up. So, I mean, what we're seeing is that the available buyers, the interested buyers for that particular listing, they come out all at once, and then crickets.
Yeah, I will say what we're seeing locally in Maryland is that buyers are taking their time. They could be weighing their options, looking at other properties, but the offers are coming in just a little delayed than what they were before.
We'll see 2 or 3 versus 25.
Exactly.
Yeah. And looking back to this National Association of Realtors article, as far as where in the U.S. we're seeing the largest numbers of home sale declines, well, the West tops the list, down 30.4% from a year ago. And the South comes up next, down 19.6% from a year ago.
The Northeast is down 16.2% from a year ago. And finally, the Midwest dropping 14.4% from a year ago.
As you can see, this is affecting the country at large. So, double-digit home sale decreases from just a year ago, guys. Again, I believe this is just the beginning.
And we encourage you, if you don't believe that this is truly happening, look it up. Look it up and you're going to see for yourself.
In the real estate industry, like many other industries, we are always backward looking. We don't have the luxury of like the stock market where you could see the price of the stocks at this given second in time. But guys, we'll see how this unfolds over the next couple of months.
So we want to hear from you. What do you say? What are you seeing? We would really like to get some feedback on this.
All right, guys, so we hope you enjoyed this video. You can let Melissa and I know that you did by smashing that like button. And as always, we appreciate if you haven't subscribed, do it now. Hit that alert bell. You'll know every time we upload real estate content just like this.
See you next time.
See you next time. Sachs Realty, Maryland broker number 607720, office number 443-318-4514, equal housing opportunity.